It's official. Trump is back in the Oval Office. A lot has happened to get us to this point.
This trial is a total witch hunt.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
How do you like my garbage truck?
Congratulations, Mr. President.
After getting sworn in, Trump got out his big, beautiful Sharpie to sign some big, beautiful executive orders, like many, many dozens of executive orders. Tom and Jerry, and by that I mean Trump and the media, are back to their cat and mouse game. You know how this works. The networks demonize Trump as a fascist dictator. It feeds their ratings. They love it.
You know, he keeps... We love this guy. He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one. We're closing the border, and we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator, okay?
In his first 100 days, Joe Biden announced a whopping 52 executive orders. Trump will likely beat that. He's already at 42, and it's been like 72 hours. But for the record, no president in the past several decades has ever come close to FDR's over 3,700 executive orders. In his 12 years in office, that's averaging about one a day. Woodrow Wilson holds second place at a mere 1,800. Little history tidbit, these are, by conservative definitions, the worst US presidents of all time because of the way they abused the executive power and expanded our government dramatically. Recent presidents have hit around 200 to 300 executive orders in their entire term, so I guess America's doing okay by this metric. When our political pendulum swings these days, presidents often just end up undoing their predecessor's legacy, or in Biden's case, damage. Severe spiritual, fiscal, emotional damage.
Emotional damage!
Several of Trump's actions will simply reverse past Biden and Obama policies. In one swoop of the pen, Trump reversed 67 Biden executive orders.
How dare you.
Other actions, however, like changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, are brand new. One could argue that the political Overton window has shifted so much and leftism has lurched, well, very far to the left that immediate action is needed. But just a question, should we really be legislating from the Oval Office? Trump's inauguration speech was less platitude this time and more about litigating still what Biden got horribly wrong. Trump is still not over it. He listed these things line by line while Biden and Harris sat and listened, sitting directly behind him.
Let me use it. We will bring prices down, fill our strategic reserves up again, right to the top, and export American energy all over the world.
As promised, Trump granted clemency to roughly 1,500 January 6 defendants who he has called political prisoners and ordered the Attorney General to dismiss all related pending indictments. Trump also signed an order to end birthright citizenship. National Review's Ramesh Ponnuru notes that the concept of birthright citizenship is widely unpopular, quote, not because it makes legal immigrants children citizens, but because it makes illegal immigrants children citizens too. This order might be tricky for Trump. He's likely to receive pushback from the judicial branch. Courts will have to dive deep into this thing called the 14th Amendment to figure out if birthright citizenship can really be repealed. Another questionable order is Trump's 75-day pause on the TikTok ban. Basically, during this period, the Department of Justice can enforce the law, which was passed by Congress, by the way, and it was just recently upheld by the Supreme Court unanimously. Once a huge critic of TikTok around COVID, Trump invoked this 90-day provision to delay the ban, sensitive to it now because he thinks Republican influencers helped him a lot in the election, and that might be true. But that provision says that a sale of the company must be pending, like actively in progress, to delay the ban. It was meant to buy time for the negotiating parties to get the deal over the finish line. Trump said on Truth a few days before taking office, although we don't know if this is his current plan, therefore, my initial thought is a joint venture between the current owners and/or new owners, whereby the U.S. gets a 50% ownership in a joint venture set up between the U.S. and whichever purchase we so choose. While we admire Trump using the art of the deal here, I'm not so sure you can split the difference with a Chinese Communist Party-controlled company. The ban went into effect Sunday. President Biden fecklessly announced that he would not enforce the ban, leaving the decision to Trump. TikTok users even got a politically charged message when they opened the app. But lo and behold, the influencers could stop crying because 12 hours later, TikTok was magically back online. TikTok credited Trump with clarifying his intended enforcement of the law. Now, all we can hope for is that Shark Tank host Kevin O'Leary buys the dang thing so TikTok can divest from the Chinese surveillance state and we can all watch our cooking videos in peace. Kevin, you have 75 days. Chop, chop.
Let's fix it and let's move on. I do not want to see this down for 1 second. That hurts my companies and millions of others.
We could have a tech mogul like Elon Musk start a TikTok alternative from scratch, but, time.
Or we just go back to reading books.
We could also do that. Trump also withdrew the United States from the World Health Organization again. He did this in July of 2020 after the WHO totally fumbled the pandemic. Then Biden rejoined a few days after taking office in 2021.
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
The withdrawal will take a full year to go into effect, but when it does, all funds to the WHO will be halted and all personnel will be reassigned.
What is this one?
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir?
Ooh, that's a big one.
The WHO tweeted that it hopes the US will reconsider. I would not hold your breath. So Trump didn't stop signing executive orders just because it was time for the inauguration parade. He set up a desk in the arena to sign more.
Could you imagine Biden doing this? I don't think so. I don't think so.
He mandated that the days of remote work are officially over. Federal workers must return to full-time in-person work. I mean, it's our taxpayer dollars. They should be in the office and accountable. Trump officially established the new Department of Government Efficiency with the Tesla CEO as its head. Trump restored the name of America's highest peak to Mount McKinley. The White House official website now calls the 2015 move by the Obama administration to change it to its indigenous nomenclature, an affront to President McKinley's life, his achievements, and his sacrifice. Trump designated the drug cartels as terrorist organizations, thank you very much. He ended the radical and wasteful government DEI programs, and he ordered that the federal government would recognize that sex and gender are indistinguishable, and there are only two, male and female. He also restored the death penalty after the Biden moratorium, and in a very spicy one, Trump revoked the security clearances of 50 former intelligence officials who called Hunter Biden's laptop from hell Russian disinformation. Turns out it was real. But Facebook and Twitter at the time censored the story anyway, interfering in the 2020 election. Trump's final activity, a little past midnight, was getting rid of Biden ideologues. Our first day in the White House is not over yet, he said on Truth. My presidential personnel office is actively in the process of identifying and removing over 1,000 presidential appointees from the previous administration who are not aligned with our vision to make America great again. Trump listed 4 by name, most notably retired General Mark Milley. Milley served for more than a year as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under Trump, but he refused to back his boss after January 6, 2021. Then, Milley defended the progressive policies of Biden, including critical race theory in the military. In a book published a month before the 2024 election, Mark Milley called Trump fascist to his core and said the then GOP nominee was the most dangerous person to this country. Within 2 hours of Trump taking office Monday, the Pentagon removed Milley's official portrait after reportedly receiving orders from the White House to take it down. It didn't last more than 10 days on the wall. Before leaving office, Biden pardoned Milley for any offenses committed against the country from 2014 to now, to prevent his successor from enacting retribution against him. So for now, the best Trump could do was to deliver to Milley his signature line, "You're fired." And on a lighter note, if you want to see our takes on the best and worst dressed of this inauguration weekend, click here.